What's up, everybody? My name is Liliash and welcome to episode number 4. Yes, this is episode number 4. When I get to the 5th one, guys, give me a badge because Anyway, so today I have another friend of mine. In fact, I told you guys on my pod, I'll just be bringing friends because it's easier. Like, it's very easier for me. And this year we're doing things easy, please. And just to put a disclaimer in the beginning, I am wearing something which is very rare for me, but it's because of the topic we're going to talk about. So it needs to just embody itself. Okay, anyway, introduce yourself.
I love your energy.
Hey, man. Don't ask me if this is water.
Introduce myself. I hardly get to ever introduce myself. So this is weird, a bit weird. But me naitwa Roberta. Roberta Bobby. I'm a writer. I write about sex and intimacy and relationships. And that's what I talk about. I run a blog and a podcast where basically that's what I talk about. Yeah.
So as you can see, she said, as you have heard, what she's talking about is something that we make it look like such a taboo. In fact, if anything, I remember even when we have like topics, not a topic, a title, even on your channel, you have to censor some words because I don't understand why these words are so, like, why is it a taboo to talk about it?
Exactly. It's true. Tuesday I was uploading an episode on, it's okay to say words here?
Yeah.
Or
I guess. If they're not, we'll censor.
Talk careful. But I did an episode on masturbation. And Instagram just told me straight up, they're not gonna show my stuff. And I realized anytime I post anything with the word sex, masturbation, or even sex toys, I get shadow banned. So yeah, we have a really long way to go. We have a long way because I'm trying to promote the advocacy for such conversations. But it's not just kunyamazishwa kwa nyumba, kwa church, shule, nje kwa peers na friends. Ama hata job opportunities unaweza nyimwa because of that.
You speak about it.
It's everywhere. It's on social media. It's everyone against having these discussions. So it doesn't help that in Africa the topic is so taboo. So it's just really difficult kupenya, but I'm trying my best.
Yeah, so like I said, the reason as to why I'm saying I'm wearing sleeveless, one thing that I have grown up is I hate my arms. Nazichukia. Kama ningeza kuzikatakata ningezikatakata. But something else is that growing up, I have learned to love a lot about myself. Like I
hate my body.
Me too.
Excuse me?
No, mine.
Oh.
What do you hate?
Every day it's a new thing. Too big, too small.
For who?
The world.
Comparison.
It's somewhere between unrealistic expectations and misplaced obsession.
That's the thing. I'm aware it's unrealistic.
Especially for us. I mean, it's changing, but our whole value is based on beauty, whereas...
For us, it's partial.
But it doesn't matter when you obsess.
You compare your worst to someone's best.
It's a Sisyphean mindset, I know.
Even if you were as thin as a needle.
I'd grow jealous of the thread even thinner.
I hated, what else did I hate? I hated my smile. Oh my God, because of my teeth. I hated them so much. But now, the one thing, if you look at my Instagram, my pictures, people are just like, your smile is so cute. And I'm like, so one thing I also have to let people know is in my journey, like I think last year, you were talking about like confidence and how, let me tell you, Bobby told me you can get whatever you want. And I said, tell me how. Tell me how. When you were growing up, you didn't have a problem with confidence when it comes to certain things?
Of course, looking at teenagehood, you start to be a bit self-conscious about your body and about people's opinions of who you are and how you show up. So I guess hapo ndo nilianza not really second guess, but like kukua more aware of the changes happening in my body. And it really sucks that I didn't grow up in an environment where I was encouraged to be very confident. So confidence yote ni self-taught. Like ni I grew up now, I started being able to curate environments for myself where the people around me helped me with my confidence. And it also just cemented who I am for myself. So I'd say sikukuwa really into it. Like I used to think about it all the time to the point I had body parts that I didn't really like. But you know, the more aware you become, you start to notice. Hata mkienda out na mabeshte zako, kuna wale ma light skin wanakatiwangwa, kuna wewe mwenye unaongeleshwangwa once. So you start asking yourself questions like, is it because of my skin? Is it because I don't have big boobs? Is it because I don't have a big ass? But as I kept going on and I started seeing girls who looked exactly like me, or were even skinnier than me, but with way bigger confidence. And I realized that people were still drawn to these kind of people. They were a kind of body type that was not really accepted in the African culture. Unajua huku, the bigger you are, like when you have a nicer ass and you have a... Na mimi nili grow up skinny. So of course I used to get overlooked a lot. And then no one was having these conversations about skinny girls being treated differently. Darker girls being treated differently. So unaendelea kujishuku, ama ni mimi niko na shida, ama ni mimi na overthink, ama, you know. But the more I saw other people who looked like me, being way confident than me, that told me that really hizi vitu zote, is fear ilikuwa self-imposed, and it was something that I can definitely work on. And something I did fast, which I noticed you doing here, is the self-hate talk. You have to drop it. You can't say it as a joke. You can't say it in passing, because the moment you accept it for yourself,
it becomes you.
It becomes your truth. And then when everyone else says it, you don't even stop them. You kind of agree with them. Yeah, I know my arms are big, but but when you go home, exactly. When you go home, it actually affects you.
Yeah.
So you have to stop it fast. Stop saying things like, I hate my arms. They're yours. Who else's arms do you think you're going to love more than you can love yours? You know, so it's practice. You start with yourself, and then you stop hanging around with people who speak like that. And then you stop entering spaces where people might make you feel like that. Then all of a sudden, unajipata uko kwa space yenye everyone just speaks highly of you. Everyone makes you feel good. And in as much as your external validation is not supposed to be like the bane of your existence, they encourage, like, they push you.
It's such a good feeling.
They push you, they push you towards yourself. You start to believe it, and then now everyone around you just matches your energy.
Let me tell you, you know, fine, I understand what you're saying about the things you don't want to keep telling yourself you're like this, you're like this. But then you see, the thing is, whether we like it or not, the truth is the truth.
Yeah.
And me, I like that, and I love that the people around me, I think my confidence and my personality overshadows everything else. So before you start looking at, oh my God, she's a big girl, there's more you'll see first, and then now later on, saka tumezoea unaweza kunotice nezi mikono zaisha, you know, such things. But I rarely find people who tell me that, but it's something that I feel. And I'm saying this because even in relationships, because now we're talking about this in line with relationships, and I know you also speak a lot about relationships. Even work, let me start with work. Everywhere that I have left, even the previous job that I left, the person they hired next was way smaller than me. So you can start thinking, ama akwa ananidai juu, you know, I was big. Because even when I started my journey on being on camera, you could never find big girls. It was at that time when, even me, when I'm growing up, at that time I was looking at Akina Lilian Muli, I guess. Those are people to look at. And they're not big people. So I'm like, I want to be like these people. So you end up trying to form yourself to be like somebody else, which I didn't like. Me, Libidi, I had to, like you're saying, you self-taught confidence in you. I had to talk to myself and tell myself, Cheki, it's not that you're doing anything wrong. This is how you were born, and this is how it's how your family is. So, okay, yes, I can lose a bit of weight, I can, you know, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So when it comes to relationships, you'd find, like, I know there's one relationship where this person was very confident saying, I like big girls, because there are people who have preferences. Even I have preferences that some people me hata kukuangalia, I mean, I'm sorry. Not that you're bad, you're just not for me.
Yeah.
And this person would be like, me, I like big girls, and they'd always encourage me. This person is my ex, always encourage me to, it's okay, like, you're okay, you're fine. But right after tuliachana, it didn't even last 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And this person was cheating on me with somebody who is completely off, like,
opposite.
Nim light skin, actually nim mzungu. It was completely off. And I'm like, when the previous people you've dated have been big, and you've been advocating and saying you like them, big girls. So now with that, it makes me think I'm not enough. I'm not value enough for this person, because if this person thinks this, what makes me think the next relationship I'll go into atasikia hivyo pia atakuwa tu anani encourage juu maybe kuna benefit anapata. Probably it's because when we go somewhere I'm the one who'll fight for them. Kama ameitisha chicken wings,
oh my goodness,
that's as in you overthink, and I hated that. For that time I didn't want to be in a relationship for so long because I was just thinking umse ameni break, not ameni break my heart, like tumeachana, like umeniacha alafu unaendea So I don't know how you would tell, because you speak a lot to us, how would you tell me that it's not your fault that a skinnier girl, a lighter girl, a what girl?
Yeah, and that's just the thing. I'm just gonna reiterate like what I said, and I need you to hear me deeper than the facade like looks like. Easy feelings zote ziko within yourself. If you are feeling it, you manifest it into the physical, and then everyone else is going to treat you exactly the way you feel about yourself. So it's you. It starts with you. You have to change the way you perceive yourself, the way you feel about yourself. Lazima ianze na wewe, as in you can't run away from it. So hata saizi nikikutoa nikupeleke kwa environment yenye kila mtu ni angel na kila mtu atakusifu every 5 minutes. If you do not believe it within yourself, it's never going to work. And you see, how you see yourself, how you perceive yourself is how you show up. You could think you're this confident, bubbly person. But as long as you have insecurities that you have not dealt with or you have not tackled intentionally, it's always going to show up in other relationships. It'll show up. I like that you mentioned about work and about relationships. Because if you don't deal with something, it shows up everywhere. It'll show up in the way you talk to your friends, the way you relate with your mom, the way you hang out with your friends, with your girlfriends, the way you date, the way you make money. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So it really, really takes a lot of work. Kuna hiyo part ya kusema, najipenda, niko confident, na kuna the other ugly side, which is where you have to actually do the work. You have to sit with yourself and ask yourself, hizi mikono venye zinakaa, ni nini sizipendi, na ni nini. You know, you have to ask yourself the questions. Is it because someone made a comment one day and that comment shaped the trajectory of my opinions for the rest of my life? Is it because I've never seen people with big arms? Is it because I don't have enough representation? What is it? Ukishajiuliza, then you fill the gap for yourself. You make your own decision. Am I going to be the representative? Because that's what I did with my blog. I grew up in an environment where nobody talks about sex. And this is a funny story I always tell. You know, Sale Mafudi grow and everything. So
I wasn't ready.
So you know, they grow in your pubic area, but like they go all the way to your ass, like to your anus. And the first time I felt I had hair in my ass, I was so confused because it was never in the textbooks, if you can remember. It was nobody ever told us. They just told us pubic area. So I was so shocked. Like I thought maybe I had a problem. Something was wrong with me.
Becoming a man.
Plus, yeah, that's exactly what I said. You know, I'm becoming a man because this doesn't look like a girly thing. Because nobody had ever spoken about it. And how am I going to start asking my mom, hizi, nywele, you know? So I realized there's a gap. There's people who are not talking about it. And I had the decision to make. Either be the one who's talking about it or just shut up and be insecure forever. I had a choice. And I decided to fill the gap. So there's so many things you can do with your insecurities. But the first is you have to deal with them. Now, usifikirie niwe peke yake uko na insecurity. Kuna kitu inaitwa spotlight effect where we normally think, you know how you enter a room and you think everyone is thinking about you. They can all see my arms. Everyone is feeling. It's not the truth. Everyone has their own issues. Everyone is thinking about their own things. Kuna mtu amedampiwa jana, kuna mtu chali yake hajamtext. Kuna mtu mwenye hajakula breakfast bado anafikiria tu nikapata mandazi sahi. Kuna mtu ako na so mbili pekee kwa M-Pesa. So wewe unafikiria ni wewe peke yake everyone thinks about and everyone talks about. And what that does to you subconsciously is it makes you yearn and seek external validation so badly,
which is so bad,
that your own affirmations, your own reassurance doesn't work on yourself. Because so what if you have big arms? So what?
I'll go for surgery.
You can do whatever you want, like at the end of the day, but you have to start with accepting and loving yourself. So that when you enter rooms, you're not just fixated on everyone is thinking about me, everyone can see me, Z. It's I'm fabulous, I'm beautiful, I'm amazing, I look good. I can, whatever you decide for yourself, kama ni hiyo surgery, ama ni uta work out, ama whatever you decide, it has to come from a place of love more than a place of people can see me and people are talking about me. Because if you do that, you'll change everything. You'll change everything, not just the things you're insecure about, but what if someone just tells you, Lily, I don't like your podcast?
Yeah.
So what happens then?
I quit.
Why? 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 It means you'll never ever have the guts to do anything.
That's true.
And people always almost have an opinion. Right from your mom. Kwanza, my mom is my harshest critique. I have so many tattoos and she hates them. And she's always talking about them. But I've entered rooms where I've been picked just because I have tattoos.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because it makes me different and edgy and eka uyo dem hapo ataonekana. Unaget? Na kuna places nimeenda zenye feature funika.
Yeah,
unaget? So imagine if I was unable to show up as myself, if I was always scared, if I was always holding back because people are gonna make comments, because my mom hates the way and I listen to my mom. Mamangu hata saya akinipigia niambie change. Chances are ndamsikiza because I know her advice comes from love and experience and all this. But at the end of the day, I'm my own person. I have to be able to make my own decisions. So as much as her advice works, Mimi, I'm a person for myself. So lazima nikuwe na hiyo discernment. And you have to choose yourself consistently. Consistently. Whether you're broke, sad, heartbroken, tired, hungry, it's just you who's going to have your back at the end of the day.
You know, in this confidence thing, even let alone at your body or anything, now let's move into this relationship side, because more to it is, I think that's one struggle I've noticed, that as you grow up, you really yearn and seek for like love. And when I was like in 22, 23, mimi hata sikuwa na haja. But now, the more you're growing up, I think also the effect of social media, seeing that nilikuwa na mse shule, akona marriage, akona all these things. So you really seek and yearn for that love. Anyway, that's like besides the point. But in this confidence thing, let alone even like your body. So you see, if you find like, for example, when I left that relationship, for me, I was, which is such a bad thing by the way, just to put it out there, I was ready to accept anything in terms of a man, anything, bora ananipenda, bora niko na mtu bana, nasema tu mtu aliniacha but nimepata mtu mwingine. I was willing to accept anything. And I was not I watched a video, and I'll put it there, that was saying how it was a quote in her saying, don't tell somebody how to, actually the first one is, the chick was saying, if a man doesn't text you, don't text him back. If a man doesn't call you, don't call him back. If a man don't show you show your confidence in that, mean you're the prize. And I'm always saying, every podcast, every place I go, I'm always saying I'm the table. And I'm still saying it here again, I'm the table. But there's another video, and I think I sent it to you. Now this one, that explains this guy saying, tell someone how to love you. Tell this person, I want you to love me like this. I hate my arms, so every day, if you can, okay, not every day, but if you can.
Hata kama ni every day.
Okay, sawa. Every day, affirm and tell me, babe, your arms are okay.
Yeah.
Tell that person. Imagine, for me, it's affirmation. If you affirm me, I'll feel like you love me.
Yeah.
So you're teaching this person how to do that. So for me, it was the confidence. This chick is telling you, your confidence is to show this person that I don't need you. But this other guy is telling you, your confidence is to tell this person how to love you, because you're proving to this person that unajijua, like unajijua vile niko, so utanipenda hivi vile niko. But hii ingine inatushow, wacha kumwambia. So I was so confused. I was like, what am I supposed to do? Because this one who's saying how to tell your person is like a guy who's read the Bible, who's like, he's so educated. This other chick is just a karandomi like me. So I was like, man, what are we supposed to do, girl?
Okay, so first off, I understand both sides, because I think I get what kind of relationships both types are. And I think, let me start with the girl one, where she's saying, don't text him back, don't tell him nini. So that sort of relationship is whereby it's not even in the relationship yet. I'd say it's kind of, what do they call it, talking stage. In the beginning, whereby you guys are still trying to get to know each other. And there's this thing that boys do where they pull back. It's a very intentional thing, but it's just to kind of test for a reaction. And you see, because exactly. So let me finish explaining why they do this. You see, in this thing of relationships and mating, I always say it's a game. You either learn the rules and play by them, or you say you don't want games and you get played.
Dead.
So you make your decision. It's either you learn, because we're set very differently biologically, psychologically, emotionally, even individually, venye tu tumegrow up na childhood trauma zetu. But kuna vitu zingine ni consistent, kama hizo za psyche na biology. Kuna vitu unaweza notice in more than one man, like most men are like this. It doesn't have to be the hard fact or ati this is the truth, this is what it is, but it's patterns you can normally notice. And so I'm namtetea, but that girl was kind of saying, if you're in such a situation where he's pulled back, that's the advice that they're giving for you, is for you as a woman to be enriched in yourself, such that when someone is not texting you, you're not all day focused on just the fact that this guy hasn't texted me. Have your own life, do your own things, have your own hobbies, wake up, have talents, get a job, make more money. You know, because if you're just seated waiting, and this is especially for people with who attach anxiously to relationships, you start wondering, he hasn't texted me today, he doesn't care about me, he hasn't affirmed me, it means he doesn't like me, he's talking to other girls, all these things start running in your head.
But wait, before you continue, isn't it like that? I mean, I'm not a man, I don't know, maybe the men will tell us, but may know when they say, if he's not giving you the attention he's been giving you, that attention has been given to someone else. So
now that's the kind of advice you listen to from people who are not experts, people who've not studied these things, people who just talk. It doesn't necessarily have to be that.
It's true. It's not true. It doesn't
necessarily have to be that he's somewhere with another woman. But if you have PTSD from relationships and you're listening to people who are giving you advice like that, you end up in situations where you can't trust. And if you can't trust, then it won't work. So now in that situation where the man starts pulling back, you're getting to know each other, unashanga. Hajaniongelesha. Unaanza kuona hizo TikToks za he hasn't talked to you in 24 hours.
That's how it works.
Delete him.
That's how it works. And me, I hate it. That's what I'm telling you. These videos, I saw them in one day.
Yeah.
And it's because I was going through that situation. Like, me nashanga. Like, okay, tulikosana kidogo. It didn't warrant you to keep quiet.
Yeah.
But you know, people are different emotionally. So yeah, anafeel, ikitu imembo. Mi niko tu ni kitu ndogo. So he pulled back. And no, me, I'm just like, unataka nimko team call. Mimi, Then I saw this thing telling me, teach this man how to love you. Tell him when you are upset, don't keep quiet. Niko tu sasa nifanye nini? I'm just like, this I'm like, hata staki kitu inaitwa mapenzi, you know.
Yeah.
That's the thing, that social media really.
Ladies, if he is not texting you, he is texting someone else. I need all of us to stand up and remember this moment and remember this fact, okay? It is easily forgotten. It is easily forgotten again, part 2. It is literally easily, like, it's so easy for us to be like naive, like, oh, he's just not on his phone, girl.
And you have to realize anyone can have a platform and say anything.
Yeah, everyone has an opinion.
Anyone can be put on TV to say whatever they feel. Anybody can be put on a podcast. Anybody can be put on but iyo part ya wewe mwenyewe intentionally kwenda kuseek further information, kuseek gani ndo ina make sense, gani haitakuwa harmful, gani it's perfect for me. That's now your job. Because ukitaka kuona wasewa block him, delete him, you'll do it. You'll see them.
Sometimes there's a guy who tells you, let me teach you how a man's doing. And then you hear his voice, you're like, acha nimsikie. Unakapo unasema wallahi mistakes to msi. And I hate it. Even though you're talking about the social media thing, there's a chick I had to unfollow, and I talked about it on my Instagram. That chick, she's Kenyan. Mimi sijasikia akisema anything positive about a man. She'll wake up, mwana umeweka hiyo toothbrush ukipata weka paka gel nayo sijui I'm like, wewe kwani you don't project your things on us. Like I had to unfollow her. In the beginning, I found it funny, but I noticed the more I listen to her, I'm also thinking, hata nikiingia kwa nyumba ya like my man,
you're already afraid.
I'm like, hey, toothbrush ama dem alitumia kupaka edges. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
I was like, so I have to do that. So by a TikTok, you can't really do much. You just have to keep scrolling.
You press not interested until those things
you're right. You can
stop
actually
coming,
do that.
and you stop watching them, so that only the positive things that actually jenga you can come onto your page. So social media, that's how it is. You have to be very careful with the things that you're consuming for yourself. And the other video where they're encouraging you. This is where now you feel a bit more secure in the relationship. There's a bit, now you know each other. Maybe you guys have decided, let's date. You see, you can't pull those things for don't text him in such a situation. It doesn't apply. It will not work. So in the other situation where you're being told don't text him, it's not necessarily to say ati block him. It's just to say have your own life as a woman. Fanya vitu zako. By the time we mwenyewe unarudi kuangalia message, hata in fact ni wewe utapata alisha kutext, ni wewe uja reply, mbona ulikuwa gym, ukaenda yoga, ukaenda sijui painting, ukaenda running, ukarudi, ukaenda kuswim, watch TV.
Kuna vitu unasema siwezi do. Running, yoga, painting.
By the time you're checking your phone, it's him who
Looking
texted
for
you.
you.
And it changes the dynamics of the relationship. So now he goes back into his masculine and he starts to chase you. But if you're the one who's consistently messaging him, woja ni text, bono ni textingi, it's been 24 hours. If you can go 24 hours without talking, that's what makes them pull back. But if you're a woman who has your own life going on, you have your own things going on, you give him the space and the chance for him to chase you as a man. And you won't have to ask him anything at why didn't you text me? He knows.
I have
you know, we normally infantilize because he knows a date, she'll never have time for me.
How do you grow that confidence? I want to know how you can become confident enough to say, like for me right now, I don't have, before I used to do an 8 to 5.
Yeah.
Right now I'm not doing an 8 to 5. So I have I could do 2 days, I'm doing literally nothing. Or even 3 days a week, I'm doing nothing. So if I'm on my phone constantly and this person is working, but sasa mimi na jam, nasema tu mbona ani text?
Exactly.
How do you grow that confidence to tell yourself, Aisha, it's not that he doesn't love you, he's just busy.
And he's living his life. He's doing his things. He wakes up and does his things. He's a busy man who has his things going on.
Just make money for me.
Exactly. But you see, the other end of that is that he still has to give you the reassurance.
Yeah.
He still has to show you that he wants you, even if he's busy or he's not around. Hiyo feeling haifai kuisha. Hiyo feeling ya nakutaka na unajua nakutaka, hata kama sija kutext unajua nakutaka. Hiyo feeling inafai kuwa consistent.
How do you grow that?
By being yourself and being a woman who does your own things.
Okay.
That's literally the only hack. And listen, it's not that I'm a pro at this. I'm literally going through the same thing. I'm seeing someone and they don't always text me all the time. And pia mimi niko unemployed size, so I have all the time. I'm able to check. Naya a busy person, traveling, doing things, going places. So it's very easy for me to fall in that space for, why didn't you text me today? You don't like me enough. But you see, they've created space for me to express myself. They do not dismiss me when I express my emotions. When I say I feel like I need extra affection. Hata kama hailewi, ama anashanga, nakwanga job, nimechoka, nafanya hizi vitu zote. They never dismiss me. They never make me feel like this girl is asking for too much. So those are things you also look out for. When you express yourself, they're supposed to be able to hold space for you to say what you feel. Hata kama kesho yake bado hata kutext. Unaona hiyo feeling ya reassurance ya, they like me. They're just busy. They like me. They will always show you with action. You will always feel it. You will always know. It's just the way you have friends you don't talk to for a week. Do you ever sit to think, this guy doesn't like me, he doesn't like me? So, that's your anxieties. That's you being very anxiously attached. And it's something you have to actively work on so that you don't push them away as well. Because imagine, mse anakupenda ni venye tu ako busy, but unashinda tu
negative.
Mbona uni text, mbona unioni, mbona. You have to meet each other halfway. They hold space for you. while you're able to communicate your emotions. Yeah.
Manze kitu inaita love. Me by day it stresses me. Like sometimes I'm usually, and I think when I did that test, I saw it on Akina Lydia KM talking about it, and I did the test and I noticed I'm that anxious attached. It's called anxious attached something. Like, but I know it has both words. And now
the anxiously
attached something.
Avoidant.
There's attachment and avoidance.
Yeah.
So me, I'm those attached people. Both. So when I did the test, now it tells you how to like manage it. So I think that's what we need to do. Like, do your personality tests, do those things, because you don't have to do like therapy, because sometimes, of course, therapy is also a bit expensive. But do those tests and then now learn who you are, and then learn how to manage being that person. Because when I started doing that, I started understanding a lot of things. Naanza nakachini nasema mtu ajaniongelesha, then nasema hapana Isha, unajua leo alikwambia anafanya hivi na hivi. Surely unataka like there are memes that you see at how women expect you to reply a message. Says amebeba shopping bags, ni so stop his whole life aanze kukutext. I think we need to just, for me, the confidence starts from, that's why I started talking about the confidence, is that it starts from like your body, your feelings, everything, and how you project it, and how you're going to deal with it, and how you're going to move your life with it. Like, as a confidence, I believe, let me tell you one thing I have learned. Confidence is everything. Like, even in jobs, I remember when I just started working in the media space, the things, of course, I couldn't do, because I'm just from uni, because I don't have the experience. But my confidence, just walking in that room and just talking and making you feel like manzena, after I've escaped like cops because of confidence.
Yeah.
I've made a mistake, but me sitaki kwenda huko tuanze kupeleka na police station. But my confidence, it's not ile confidence. You don't know who my dad is, no. It's that one for naelewa nimefanya makosa, like, you know, like that strong confidence, and it's gotten me out of so much, which I think for me, that's what I'm learning this year. I don't know. There's this thing I'm seeing people doing, unlearning and learning. What I'm unlearning and what I'm learning in this year. Me, what thing I'm learning is to just constantly push that confidence. Now, there's another statement as you conclude you had told me when we were texting, because I was telling you about some guy. And Roberta told me, I started telling her, I said, this guy is just true. He's literally above. Like, he's, you know those people you look at like Trey Songz? He's like a Trey Songz here in Kenya. So I'm telling Roberta, I can't get to that person. Even if you look at his ex, she's everything that I feel like I don't have. Now, that confidence, Robert told me, Aisha, if you want anything in this world, you can get it. And I said, who is this? For her, she feels, and for Roberta, it's, I want tea, I'll make tea. It's that easy for her. I want this, I will go for it and get it. I want you to teach me how to do that. Teach us, please. Because when you told me that, I was like, girl.
It sparked something in your mind.
I was like, come on, nipate your confidence. You know, like I remember telling you, it's just because I can't say who it is, but it's just the way I was thinking. If I look at his ex and the life he's living, Mimi, I can't feel that space.
And it's interesting to say that, because how come when you see something, your first thought is, I can't get it, it's not for me, instead of, how can I do better to make sure I position myself where I can get what I want?
And say, unakuwa personal.
Because that's just what my confidence is. I never look at something like, I can't do it. Because kuna vitu nyingi sana zenye nyewe nimefikia kufanya na nimeona, crazy. Like, something as simple as math. I don't like math. I don't like doing math. It used to really stress me out. But nilikuwa na realize nikiwa uni, mode tu akiteach vizuri na ni learn, nilikuwa naziweza. And I used to panic, and I realized it was just fear. It was just fear. Because when I stopped having the fear and I decided I want to learn, I was always able to do it. Even my last job, when I went to that place, I remember consistently feeling fear. Like, wakitaka kunionesha kitu mpya naanza kufeel, sasa lazima nifanye, wataniitisha reports. Oh my God, they're going to see that I don't know how to do it. But ukilearn, una realize what? Yani, this is all it took. Like running, you just talked about running. All my life, I'm turning 28 in a couple of weeks. All my life, ever since I was born, I do not participate in sports. I do not do anything exercise. I don't run. Hata kani watu wanakimbilia chakula, afadhali nikose. Like, ni sawa tu.
Bora usikimbie.
Bora nisikimbie. But this year, because I noticed I'd been struggling with self-discipline. I was just telling you in the car while we came. I noticed last year I've been struggling. And now that I'm running my own business, I'm doing my own things. You have to have self-discipline. Like, ukidoza utadishi. Na rent, lazima ilipwe. So, nikarealize niko na shida na discipline. And I was looking for ways to remedy that. And people were telling me, ingia gym. But nilikuwa naogopa juu saa enye kuingia gym, like, ni commitment. Kwanza ukishalipa, like, now you have to do this. But then, someone told me, if you have to pay for something to motivate you, then maybe you just shouldn't do it. Because it's not coming from self. It's not coming from within. You have to want. Lazima utake. Like, it doesn't, hata ukilipa, kama ujisiki kuenda, bado utaenda.
Yeah.
So Nika decide, my brother, we live in the same building. He goes for running and cycling. I told him how I feel, and he said, you can join me. And even that first day that I was supposed to start, nilikuwa nishaanza kufeel kwanza excuses, like,
sijalala sana.
Sa kuamka mapema manze. But that day I went for the run. It changed my whole perspective. It opened my eyes to believe that the mind is so powerful. You can literally do anything you want to do. Your body can do anything you want it to do. You just have to want it. Whatever it is, whether ni kukua singer, kukua confident, kukua speaker, kukua runner, whatever it is that you want to do, you just have to want it. There's no science. There's no lesson I can teach you. Ati, Lily says I confidence.
Even though
tunaanza hivi. The easiest answer I can give you is today when you go to sleep, you tell yourself you're confident and you promise yourself to wake up delusional. Like, ile confidence ya kiburi, yenye ita blow your mind. Si ya kuchitwa tu vibaya, but like delusionally confident. Try. And there's something another friend of mine told me last year. He told me next year, I was still sharing about my self-discipline. He told me something that he uses is he doesn't say no anymore. He doesn't say no to things. Like, if someone asks him to go somewhere, or someone tells him, let's do this, or if any suggestion is thrown to him, he doesn't say no. Kitambo, he used to say no because, you're tired, you want to go sleep, or you'd rather be doing something else. Ama tu jiski. But now, I've been saying yes. That's how my whole week has activities. I'm doing so many things. Mtu asiponi text, ni ngumu sana ni realize unless ni mimi mwenyewe namtafuta. Kwa sababu mimi naishi maisha yangu. Wale watu wananitaka, wanani-meet pali niko. Si mimi nakaa nikingoja ati this guy hasn't texted me all week. I have to block him. He's Z. So you see, it makes him subconsciously changes the dynamics of the relationship to be like, if I don't chase Bobby, and yeah, she'll go.
Hey. And you're a prize. You're the table.
So if you're there just sitting, crying, waiting, you have nothing going on for your life, you have no money in your account, you have no self-esteem, you have no confidence, you don't like yourself, you don't want to show up, you don't want to exercise, na hizi vitu zote ni za kukujenga wewe, hata si za mse mwingine. So wewe unataka watu wakupendeaje? Unataka watu wakuchesaje?
That's true.
Unataka watu wakutake aje? Hawakuoni, hauko kwa rada yao. Wanachase ule dem, dem anafanya vitu, wanamuona. So it's just about you. There's no science behind it, ati voodoo, ati step 1, talk to yourself and give yourself affirmation. Step 2, journal. You just wake up and decide, today, I want to be confident. That's the easiest way I can put it.
Today, I want to be confident. And I'm starting, let me tell you the fact that I've left the house like this, Bobby. Easy.
Yeah. It's a big step.
Ningekuwa nishava jacket, ningekuja hapa nimeingia na mpaka nauliza mswa kamera. Unaona, I said I would have done, but I said, Aisha, it needs, as in, if you don't do it, baby girl. Hata naweza kuwa nachokesha mswa kamera nikwambia songesha huku kata hivi ama niambie editor cut the arm, like I said, I'm not going to do that anymore. And if you don't like my arms, imagine go watch somebody who's smaller.
And what does it matter if they don't like your arms? Because me sijazi notice ni wewe una mention like me because hata sai bado sioni ni nini unasema. I can't understand. And that's the spotlight thing I was talking about. You need to stop thinking everyone is just thinking about you and thinking about your arms. People literally have their own issues. So you stopping, unless you do the same thing to people. Do you walk into rooms and just look, his arms, his arms.
I don't
Look at,
even.
do you do that? So why do you imagine in your head that there's just someone who's come here for your arms?
Dead.
It's
to someone who's coming.
you know, and also something I had mentioned earlier, let me just repeat. Being very intentional about the people you hang around and the rooms you enter. When you're surrounded by people who love you for who they are, they probably will not notice these insecurities of yours, and you'll stop going places where people will ever try to make you feel like that. So such comments will never fly, even as a joke. Even as a joke. Ati, nani atafanya, iteni lili endo kona miko. Such things will never, ever come up as a... And even if they do, you'll be able to call it out. You'll be able to stop it in its tracks. Don't talk to me like that. There's nothing wrong with my arms. And then you'll just utajipata hauko rooms zenye watu wongea hivyo. Hauko karibu. Hata mi saa ingine naulizwanga maswali zingine zenye. Sijui splitting bills. Ama sijui what you bring to the table. Ama sijui what. You know, first, I normally get confused because these are not conversations I have. The people I hang around, these are not things we ever talk about. The people I date, hizi si vitu zishai come up.
Imagine nilisema kwa podcast ingine, I'm like, hii kitu ya kusplit bills.
Yeah.
I've never been with somebody who tells me ati
Can you pay
to do
this?
50. What is that? It's foreign.
But you realize there's people who
Are
they
like that.
do this, like these are conversations they have. And if you're not that kind of person, just, it means that's not your room. Just, there's nothing wrong with whatever people want to do. It just means it's not for you. Enda pali pengine penye vitu zako unazielewa better. Unaweza articulate, unaweza sema vitu una like bila watu kukua like, aye, you're ni weird. Whatever you want. It's like these days I've realized I hang around women who are in very happy relationships. I never hear anything mean about men.
I take me there.
I never hear.
I'm tired of everyone saying, and I'm telling you, I'm starting to realize those things. I even have now the confidence to like block this person, be away, stay away from this person. Because I was even in friendships where somebody would sit down and confidently talk about seeing a married man, and I'm just like, oh, okay. But now I'm like, why would you do that?
Friend?
Yeah, I'm like, why am I accommodating that nonsense?
Yeah.
Because the fact that I'm sitting here with you and you're doing that, these people will say,
you
the same.
accept and you're the same.
And I'm not like that completely. I'm off that. So I'm like, there are things you also have to realize and say, this is not my portion and I'm out of this. Confidently move out without thinking, I don't feel anything. But then I left that friendship. Yeah. I don't feel like I've lost anything. In fact, I'm like, wow. I don't have to.
Yeah, because you really have to align with the things you believe in. And I realize all these women I talk to, even their advices are different. Things like, hey, me last man in the home, I want to make sure when my man gets home, I've done what. Then when you sit with other women, mimi ni pike. Mimi ni sijui nini. So you realize ni kenye wewe unataka ndo pali uta gravitate towards, because these women who are doing these things for their men, these men who are loving their women like that, it's not that they're doing it out of I have to do it because I'm a man. It's because I love this woman so much, I'll do anything she wants. And that's the space I'm in right now. So you have to be very, very intentional about even things like what you follow. What you read, what you listen to, who you hang around. Saa ingine ni mama yako pia. Saa ingine ni best friend yako.
The harsh reality.
Yeah. So you have to be very intentional. And the only way you can do that ni by kujipenda na kukuwa na your confidence. Ukijijua kabisa, vitu zingine si ngumu ku-discard. Si ngumu kusema, me, I'm not part of that.
So, goodbye.
And being confident in yourself comes so much easier when you know yourself, when you love yourself so much. And I promise it's an energy thing. It's not a, I don't have to come here and say, I love myself. You'll just see it
People
in the way I walk,
see.
the way I speak, the way I treat people around me. It's an energy. You'll always be able to tell. That's a very confident woman.
Yes. And that's on period. I don't think I can add anything else past that. But I love this conversation because for me, I'm always saying, when I come here, we didn't discuss I just gave you a topic. So for me, I'm giving you because it's something that I've experienced. And because I want to understand, manze sijachizi, that nafikiria kitu peke yangu. So ndio tukika chini natoka hapa nimelearn a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, I love it. I love it for me and the girlies and also the men who are watching. And I've been feeling like that. So yeah, in conclusion, baby girl, baby boy, imagine, jipende.
Yeah.
Me, the things I've learned is it's not science. It's not something that you can learn at ABCD. It's deciding, I want this. So I want to be confident. Like, I completely 100% confident. I'm going to buy a lot of sleeveless tops because the sun is also not...
Kuna
This
joto.
weather is a lot. So it's either I decide to sweat and kill my armpits to become black, or I just decide to buy sleeveless tops and walk and feel comfortable and confident in it. So that's the thing I've learned for me, and I appreciate that. In conclusion, what do you want to tell us? Tumalizie, twende.
What I'd like to say is, you can do anything you want.
You can have
You
whoever
can get
want.
anyone you want.
That one by that ulinimaliza.
Never feel like you're too small for anything, because most of these things, ukihang out hata na watu wako na vitu unataka, una realize ni watu tuka wewe. Sometimes you're even smarter than them. The only difference is they're more confident than you. They were able to just say, fuck it, and go for what they want. So please don't let hizi vitu artificial ziku slow down, kama validation ya wasee, ama comments za watu, ama sijui confidence yako. Those are things you can work on so easily, and the faster you do it, the better, because you don't want to be a 50-year-old person who's still seeking validation from people on Instagram.
Yeah. Hey!
Love yourself. Love yourself now, so that next year you're able to be very grateful for where you'll be at. Yeah, just love yourself. Na si kusema ati, of course najipenda zi. Do the work. Do the inner work. Like, figure out who you really are and love yourself.
Tell us, try to find your blog.
Oh yeah, so...
And how and what it is.
So I write a blog about relationships and intimacy. I have a podcast as well, which is loveandorgasms.com. And also I do one-on-one sessions with guys where we talk about intimacy and relationships. And you can book me if you follow me on Instagram. Roberta Bobby everywhere on social media. And I'm also on Citizen TV every Tuesday morning on the Daybreak Show. We just talk about relationships and intimacy as well. So that's what I do. Mambo za sex na kukatiana.
Dead.
If you want to talk more about it, just hit me up.
And she'll answer. Trust me, she'll tell you as is. I'm privileged that she's my friend. So sometimes I'm just like, Mazina, feel too skinny, and she'll give it to you. You'll ask yourself so many questions, and you're like, Mazina, I've really been selling myself short.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much, guys. My name is Lily Aisha. This has been such a beautiful episode. I needed it because we are still in that space of Happy New Year. I feel like my year started in Feb. January tulikuwa tu tunajaribu to put things in place. Yeah. So as we begin this year, my sister, my brother, confidence. Period. Anyway, bye.